Hi crafty friends, welcome back to Crafting with the Gringas. Today we have another video in our Sprint to the New Year series. So we're going to be using the zipper that we prepared yesterday. I'm going to be using a 3 weight yarn and a 2.5 millimeter hook. Remember that your stitches can vary depending on how thick your yarn is and how big your hook is. So keep that in mind. If you're using a thicker yarn, you'll want to go up a hook size slightly, and you'll also want to make a little bit wider stitches on your zipper. You're also going to want to keep in mind how big your planner / notebook is. So if your planner is this size, or if you have little notebooks this size for your project bags, this would also be really fun project for a notebook for a project bag. Okay, like a little bit of project bag organization. And so keep in mind also that you're going to want your zipper to be about that size, but you also want to be able to put either a hook or a pen, which pens sometimes are a little bit longer. So you could have a smaller zipper, but you are going to want it to be at least the size of a pen or whatever you plan on putting into it. And you'll see tomorrow on our video why that's going to be important for it to be the size of a hook or a pin of your choice. Okay, so tomorrow we'll see that and we'll get that going, but for now let's get started on today's part of our project. I'm going to take my 2.5 millimeter hook. I'm going to pick one of the edges to start on. So I'm going to make a slip knot. Okay, so we're going to start on our little zipper stop, and we're going to add our slip knot. Okay, we're going to pull that through, and then we're going to chain one. Okay, and we're not going to put a stitch into this. We're going to yarn over, and we're going to half double crochet into that next sewn stitch. Okay, and then yarn over, and we're going to pull through all 3 of those loops, and we're going to want to go working over our tail. So I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to find the next stitch, and then we can add the tail and pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Okay, and we're going to just keep half double crocheting into each stitch. If you find that as you're going, like you need to add 2 stitches into one of the stitches, just make sure that will be fine. Just make sure it's not really a perfect science the way that I do it. It's just what you want is for it not to pull in on itself a lot. Okay, so you'll want it to lay as flat as possible. So if you find a stitch, or if you find it's kind of pulling in together, you're going to want to make sure that you add a couple stitches every now and then. And your stitch count's not going to matter all that much, so we're not really worried about that at the moment. Let's just worry about getting your zipper all nice. Like, make sure that it will lay flat as possible. Okay, and like I was saying, I'm gonna be crocheting over this thread. So I'm gonna go into that stitch where I made the knot, and do a half double crochet. And then pull in those threads in, and that way we don't have anything to weave in later. And if you can see, I'm kind of folding my zipper a little bit so that I can get into those stitches a little bit easier. And right now you can see why I suggest using either the same color as your yarn or the same as your zipper, because you do see a slight amount of the thread. So I'm not going to weave in my end anymore. I'm going to drop that off. And if you hear some noise in the background, I've got crafty thing number 2 here by me drawing pictures, so you may hear her every once in a while. You want to say hi?
Hi.
So yeah, they're on vacation, huh?
Yes.
So we're having some fun. Okay, so I'm here at the end. A little bit of a tough stitch to get into there. Okay, right here on the edge, I'm going to add a stitch. So I'm going to put 2 in that, just to help it turn a little bit better. And I'm going to put a half double crochet. Like I say, it is a little difficult to get in your hook in there. It takes this step of the project takes a little bit of extra patience, but it'll be worth it when we get our projects made. Okay, so I've got 2 on that corner stitch, and then 1, 2, and then 3 on this 3 on the side that we made. Okay, and then we're going to do another 2 on this corner stitch. So 1 and 2, just to help it go around. And now we're just going to have double crochet up the other side of the project, like we've been doing. Okay, so that's kind of what it's looking like right now. So I'm going to crochet and I'll meet you back to this corner. I've reached my corner, so I'm going to do the last couple stitches. And then this is where I messed up and I went a little bit too far, which probably would have been fine. But I'm not going to crochet into this stitch. I'm going to, since I made the mistake, I'm just going to crochet 2 into this stitch. Okay, and then I'm going to do a half double crochet into that next stitch. I'm going to actually put 2 half double crochets into that last little stitch. Okay, so we've got 2 here. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to start doing a back loop only, half double crochets. So we're going to do 1 in that first stitch. Okay, and then another 1. So we're just going to do half double crochets in the back loop only. I am going to place my stitch marker right here, kind of not on top of the stitch, but just right here in kind of the body of the stitch a little bit. And so I can keep the stitch count, but I don't need to move my stitch marker with each round. That will just help be a little reminder that we're back at the start again. So we have row 1, and now we're starting with row 2. Okay, so we are just going to be going back loop onlys all the way around. And you'll see why those back loops only are important in a little bit. It's going to make it so that our next step, the step that we're going to do tomorrow, is going to be a little more adjustable, I guess you could say. Okay, so I'm going to meet you back when we're here at the stitch marker. Okay, I'm back now to my stitch marker. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep continuing to go half double crochets into each stitch, and I am going to be going only into the back loop. Okay, so it's back loop only. We're going to leave that front loop so that we can work into it later. Okay, and so like I say, it's going to make it a little more customizable if we do all of it back loop only. A half double crochet in the back loop only of each stitch. So we're going to make it as long as you want. So we're just going to keep building up. Let's say you want it to be 3 inches, however length you want. So let's say I've got mine here and I want it to be half of the notebook. I'm going to make from here to here. Okay, so we'll just finish. You're going to build it up as big as you want it, how big you want to see it on your notebook. Like I say, my planner's a little bit bigger than this. Mine is not going to cover my whole planner. But we are going to want to build it up. Let's say if we want that much, it's going to be a little zipper pouch. So you decide how big you want it. If you want it to be the whole notebook, you could. If you want it to be a little bit smaller, also, just depends on your zipper. So I will be back when I have all the rows for my planner pouch. Okay, and so I'll see you back then. I'm back with my zipper pouch almost ready. This is what it's gonna look like on my planner. And so what we're gonna do is you're gonna want to end it on the same side. So there's our stitch marker. I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 rounds. And then I did run out of yarn. I could have made mine a little bit bigger, but for what we're going to be using it for, I feel like it's perfect size. It worked out perfectly. This was actually some thrifted yarn that I had, and it was not a full skein. I just thought it was really cute, and I thought it would make something fun. I was trying to find something to make with it, and then I had the idea a couple months ago to make this for my planner, and then I thought we should make a video out of it in case any of you want to be able to make it as well. So here we are. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unzip my little bag. You can see, like I say, if I would have used white, that wouldn't be very visible right now, but it is visible now just for the fact that I did use that green, or that like, it's, I guess like the green teal color. Okay, so you want to make sure that you do stop right at the edge. So you want to lay out your zipper and everything. Stop right at the edge so that we're gonna crochet that together. And so I'm gonna tighten it, and I'm gonna still be going into the back loop. Okay, so front loop on this side and back loop on that side. And then we'll just yarn over and make a slip stitch. Okay, so we're gonna do that all the way across. You want to try to make it a little looser if you can. It doesn't need to be super tight. And so we're just gonna get on the first side the front loop, and on the back, the one that's farther away from us, the back loop. So front loop, back loop on each stitch. These would be so fun to make for our little project journals that we can keep in our project bags. Like, depending on how big your notebooks are for them, it'd be fun to do this. You'll see tomorrow what we're gonna be adding something to this, and it will be so fun. They're gonna be so cute. I like the idea of like planners and journals, and usually I don't make my own like I did this year, but it's been kind of fun to put exactly what I need in there. Okay, so we're coming up to the end here. I got my last few little stitches to sew this up. Make that last stitch, then I'm gonna chain one. I'm gonna say my yarn's a little bit harder to pull to pull through. It's not quite the same as a normal yarn, but I just couldn't pass up this yarn for this project. I had found this cute paper and I thought that has to be my planner this year, and then I got thinking I gotta make something cute to go with it. So here we are, rainbow, pastel rainbow. Fun stuff, right? Okay, so that's sewn up. So what we're gonna want to do is weave in our tail that we've left. Then we can cut that off. We'll turn it back right side out. We can kind of squish that down and make sure that it's steady. And there's our little pouch, right? And that's all ready for the next step tomorrow. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll meet you back tomorrow with the next step of this fun little project. Bye!